Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Marquette Golden Eagles Dynasty here on NCAA Football 14. Today, we're just going to do the Marquette midseason report and just go over the recruiting board, the top 25, the Heisman Watch, and all that good stuff. So we'll open it up here. John Coleman, we've now surpassed Wisconsin, although we do come off a visit with him. We didn't get any bonuses, unfortunately, so just plus 500. He doesn't visit with Wisconsin until week 14, so hopefully, his recruitment goes into the offseason if he doesn't commit to us before then. But even 1 week without, without our visit, Wisconsin is gaining 55 on us. So they probably will surpass us at some point, and definitely by the time he visits with them, they would. But hopefully he goes into the offseason. Our top target in this class, 5-star, and he's going to be a stud receiver, but we're hoping at his size he could translate to tight end at 6'4", 234. And there's Adrian Holmes, our top offensive line target in this recruiting cycle. A 3-team race with Central Michigan, Miami of Ohio, and we visit with him week 11. He comes off a visit with the Golden Gophers, but I don't think they're really in contention, minus 5,000. So they might even be locked out at this point. And he did lock them out. So it's really just us, Central Michigan, Miami of Ohio, and our visit with them is sandwiched. He's going to be at Miami of Ohio this week, and then he'll visit with us the following week. Jake Allen, a linebacker who looked like we were going to pull away for him, but Kansas State, they come off their visit with him, jumped up a bit, but hopefully we can pull away and get him to commit by the end of the season. The number 4 outside linebacker out of Shelby, Michigan. Pretty good, all-around linebacker, B power move, 69 finesse with his coverage each at C, B speed, 79 acceleration, so a pretty good athlete, and the tackling traits there all at C. So he'd probably be a freshman starter, maybe a sophomore starter in the linebacking core. And there's Terry O'Donnell, the number 3 free safety in the class. I'm worried we're going to, lose out to Northern Illinois. We had a good visit with him going back a couple of weeks. We had plus 920, but we're dropping 70, and it looks like we'll just continue to drop here unless Northern Illinois pulls out for some reason. They've, paved the way for O'Donnell most of the season. Same here with Al Bush, who I'm kind of considering just abandoning ship on him. We're at now minus 1365. Already had our visit with him, and NIU is pulling away each week. We're dropping 100, and we've added some other DNs to the board, so I think we will just pull out on Al Bush, as it looks like we're going to lose another commit to NIU. We'll drop him down a little bit. And Marco Lynch, so we'll go down to the bottom here, and we did miss out on our top quarterback option here. LaRue Hart, as I expected, he goes there with the Minnesota Golden Gophers, and he's going to be a very good quarterback. His rushing traits at B, for the most part, pretty good throw power with B accuracy, and a tremendous athlete there under center. I'm going to go ahead and just scout him all the... I'll bring the 50, scout him all the way. His accuracy goes down a little bit, but he's going to be a phenomenal quarterback, and we'll definitely schedule the Golden Gophers here in the next couple years. We also missed out on Jameel Smith, one of 3 potential recruits that will miss out to NIU. He went up plus, I think, 9. He went up plus 9 after scouting. Well, we're going to go ahead and scout him further as well, and he does stay there at a plus 9. And he was a top guy for us as well, along there with Adrian Holmes. But we also miss out on Jameel Smith, so good luck to Smith and Hart in their respective programs. So Brett Day, I guess he's our top guy here on the D-line. Must have been a low lock percentage. Only at 29%. Troy is the only team to offer him. So with us pulling out on Bush, now Brett Day jumps ahead as our top target at D-end. We'll go ahead and offer him a scholarship, and hopefully we climb up the board out of Glencoe, Alabama. So outside of our region, but now being in week 10, I've kind of allowed us to go outside the region and scout nationally. Brian Wilkinson, who we haven't talked about yet here, another mid-season addition to the board. I'm afraid we're going to miss out on O'Donnell, so we're going to need to bring in probably another DB instead. And already good coverage traits, 83 man, 80 zone with B press. Good athlete with the B speed and acceleration. But we are dropping to Oregon, and since we've added him to the board, his lock percentage has really gone up, so I think we're going to have to pursue a backup plan here in the secondary between Matt Harrington and Hawaii is kind of pulling out on him. And he was a late addition as well, but he's already 69% locked. We'll just go ahead and take him off the board. Robert Nash we added at the same time as Wilkinson, but he hasn't seen any development really in his recruiting. He has 2 scholarship offers, both from West Coast teams, but he is an Ohio native, a pipeline. So I think we'll offer him a scholarship and jump on the Robert Nash trail right now. I was going to say on the rabbit trail. We'll jump on the Robert Nash trail. Only 84 speed, but passable at safety with 88 acceleration, 72 zone. But you like the 84 hit power, good pursuit, and he's going to have good press coverage as well. These other guys, though, I don't think we really need to go into quite yet. Brian Williams is a JUCO D tackle. Not really a need for us, but maybe could add some more depth, especially he'll come in as a high overall. I'm not sure if he's going to be a sophomore or a junior. Only 265, 76 strength. I think we'll hold off on him for now. Maybe go for a quarterback here. We waited so long on Marco Lynch. It looks like the Spartans are really, pulling in on him. He still visits with Michigan State this week, actually, and then Cincinnati, who have kind of climbed a little bit. They offered him a scholarship. 88% locked, though, so maybe he just does end up committing to Marquette here in the next couple weeks, but certainly not a sure thing. So I think we do want to get a little insurance here with Tatum. These are some late quarterback additions: Rob Tatum, Herb Coe, Charles Harris, and Derek Cooper. See who we like the best. So Cooper is a decent athlete with a 79 speed, 77 acceleration, B throw power, decent ball carrier traits. Charles Harris a little bit faster, a stronger, both at B throw power. But it looks like Cooper might be a little bit better running the ball. Herb Coe, B throw power, more of a pocket passer here with 87 throw accuracy, very good, but doesn't really offer anything as an athlete. And then Rob Tatum, B throw accuracy and power, and like Coe, more of a pocket passer. So it really just depends what style we want to go with. Between Cooper and Harris, I think I might even prefer Derek Cooper. He is a better ball carrier, although he has 3 overall points lower than Harris. But maybe we go for a pocket passer here. Rob Tatum, we don't have any of his throwing traits uncovered, which is kind of worrisome. You don't want to really gamble on that. So I think Herb Coe out of Avon Lake, Ohio. What's his lock percentage? I think all these guys are low. 19%, 17%. So yeah, all these guys are pretty much 20% or lower. And we did get 2 new commits. So we got to save 100 points to uncover the rest of their scouting. So we'll just go bump up Herb Coe to 360. And now if we miss out on Lynch, hopefully Herb Coe is the guy we can get. But we'll go down here to new commits. And we got Brent Stokes, another Iowa guy, which we needed. So we preserved that Iowa pipeline along with Thomas Andrews, the middle linebacker, who was our first signing of this class. So Brent Stokes is an athlete who best projects in the secondary, I think. You do like that 85 juke, good elusiveness, a B spin. So maybe someone who can provide some return ability at some point. B speed with the acceleration and agility each at C. But you like the 78 man, B zone, C press with 74 play rec, and decent hit power at 74. So we'll scout him further. And he goes up a good swing there. I think he was just at a 63. Goes up 5 more, so a +4 from his overall base. And those acceleration and agility ratings see an improvement into the low B territory there at 83, 81. You like to see that. And 82 zone, so definitely a good safety option, maybe even corner. And he has good ball carrier traits as well, but only 67 carrying, not really a running back. 66 route. Probably could serve as a receiver, but I think we need more depth there in the secondary. So he goes up to a 68, a 3-star athlete. Now, Greg Morris, we have our first lineman signing of this class, but we're hoping for at least one more. 6'6", 309 out of Saginaw, North Michigan, the 40th ranked offensive tackle. 69 run block, B impact with 82 strength. And we scout him further. He stays at a 65, so -1 from his original grade. Impact block down at 76, but a decent pass blocker, and the 82 strength isn't that bad. Tim Smith, the top receiver in Wisconsin, we got to keep in state. Looks to be a burner with some good speed there, acceleration, good route running, but the hands are going to be the Achilles heel for Smith. Josh Madsen, the 67th, I think, ranked player on the overall board, so the highest player to date that we've brought into the program. The 11th ranked running back, a 4-star out of Appleton, Wisconsin, a teammate with John Coleman, a teammate of him in high school. So hopefully, we get his teammate. Hopefully that brings him there, but going to be a battle there with the Badgers. Matson's a very good running back, a speed back at 89 speed, 86 acceleration with good catching traits as well. Brian Beck, a corner we brought in. Decent coverage traits, decent athlete, so nothing too special, but a solid overall player, 3-star out of Indiana. Stephen Curry, 6'6", 229 receiving tight end, 80 speed with 91 acceleration, and very good receiving traits off the bat, but not going to provide much as a blocker. And then Thomas Andrews, 88 speed at linebacker, the 37th ranked middle linebacker, and kind of like Brian Beck, the corner we just talked about, just very well-rounded, but no like clear strength. So that's our recruiting class right now. I believe that brings us up to now 7 signings, and we didn't really have too many holes to fill. Well, maybe double what we have now in terms of our complete recruiting class, but really hoping we can come away with Coleman up here, Holmes, Allen, although O'Donnell looks like a long shot, but we'll see how it goes. We have some visits, but I don't think we'll even bother with any of these guys quite yet. And we also do have 5 more points. I guess we'll just throw that into Herb Co. And that is your recruiting update. On the national ranks, we're at 21. Like we said, 7 signings, 2 4-stars, and 5 3-stars. Army just ahead of us, coming off a national championship, but just 5-3 this season. Ohio State, Kansas State. Surprised to see them up here. Troy at 15 with 1 4-star and 8 3-star signings. A very good class there from the Trojans. BYU up here. Duke, who's been a bottom dweller there in the ACC, down to a 1-star program. Indiana at 1-6 has the number 12 recruiting class. Oklahoma State, Tennessee, USC, Penn State, Kentucky. A little surprising to see them in the top 10. Now the top 5, Alabama, Oregon, Boise State, Washington, and Oklahoma, of course, at number 1. Now we do have a coaching skill point to spend, so we're at level 10 in recruiting, level 9 in game management, so we have to go over to game management here just to keep it even. Otherwise, we'd be like a level 19 recruiting right now if we didn't evenly distribute. So we don't have that big tier up here on lock, so I guess we'll just go into antifreeze and ensure that we never get iced. And now, once we go back into game management, I'm not sure quite what we'll go after. Maybe Light a Fire, or maybe Coach Stradamus. Probably one of those, but next we're definitely going to go back into recruiting. Maybe Kitchen Sink. I've stressed that we need to, give us more resources on individual players and get that 500 up to 550 instead. That would be a huge help. Or maybe Letter of Intent, depending on how our recruiting board is shaping up going into the offseason. We might need the extra resources in the offseason instead. Defensive coordinator Matt Campbell at level 16, his second season, and Bobby Goss has been the OC the entire time here, and we got great wall up last time we upgraded him. And now here's an updated look at the top 25 in Navy, currently number 1. Last year, like I said, Army won the national championship. We'll see if the service academies can keep it going, but this week they play Notre Dame, which is going to be their toughest test this season, and I'm really hoping the Fighting Irish can come out with a win. Although they are 3-5, I think they actually entered this season at number 1 in the preseason polls, so a huge drop-off from the Fighting Irish. Although Navy does play Army down there in Week 15, that would be a huge one if the Midshipmen were still lossless in that matchup. Penn State goes up 6 to number 2, Michigan up to number 3 after they beat Minnesota. They're 7-1. Georgia Tech, Florida State, Ohio State at 5-1, Miami, and North Carolina was number 1 at 7-0. They lose to Virginia Tech. They're in Blacksburg. Clemson at number 9, LSU at number 10. They suffered a big upset against Syracuse last time out. Oklahoma at number 11. They lose to West Virginia, fall all the way down from number 3. BYU at 8-1, a very good season for the Cougars. Nebraska at 4-3. Michigan State at 14, 5-2. Auburn 6-1. Coming off a win against Texas A&M in overtime. Boise State, Arizona, we beat them back in Week 1. They're ranked higher than us. Don't like to see that. Oregon State falls to Stanford, and that's Herbert Wright coaching now a ranked Stanford team. We'll see them here in a bit. And Marquette at 19, the highest we've been so far this season. Next week we have at Oregon with our backup quarterback, so that'll be a fun game. USC at 20 after a loss against Colorado. 21's West Virginia. They beat Oklahoma. Virginia Tech beat the number 1 team in the land. 4-3 at 22. Florida at 23, 6-2. Stanford there, 7-1. And as I said, Coached by Herbert Wright, our former defensive coordinator, went to Kansas for 1 season and then jumped ship. Lost his first game, but has won the next 7, though. I mean, the Pac-12, not the strongest from the looks of it so far, but a couple tough games down the stretch at versus USC and also South Carolina, who were the runners-up last year in the national championship, and Oklahoma State at 25, rounding it out. In the Heisman Watch, it's still Kevin Lumpkin. He's led the way this entire season, including he was the preseason favorite, and he hasn't budged from this number 1 spot. 44 carries last week for 281, 5 touchdowns on the season so far, 6.3 yards per rush, 16 touchdowns, 52 on his career. This dude is something else. Sean Prince, the top quarterback right now from Florida State, a redshirt sophomore. Will Jones from BYU, Scott Kaysen from USC, and another quarterback here, Mike Jackson, the 99 overall quarterback from LSU. Championship Contenders, we're now up to a B+ for the first time in this series. A huge accomplishment here. You know, we're close to there to A-, and being Championship Contenders, maybe our biggest sell right now, along with coach stability for our program and coach prestige. So currently 19 in the polls. Going forward, they have us at 45, 43, and then 33 looking ahead to 2021, which would be year 9. It would be year 9 of this dynasty. And I kind of touched on it last episode or maybe the episode before, but I do plan on keeping this thing going, even though the new game, College Football 25, has released. And now at toughest places to play. And just to continue that last thought, you know, I've spent some time on College Football 25. It is a fun game, but, you know, I'm old school, I guess. I have a lot more fun playing NCAA 14, especially the gameplay experience. So we're definitely going to stick with this one, but we will get something going on College Football 25 here at some point in the near future. So toughest places to play, Michigan Stadium, the Big House at number 1, Ohio Stadium right there, the Horseshoe beneath them, Notre Dame Stadium, Bryant-Denny, Miami Stadium, where we played a few episodes back, currently a 6-game win streak at home for the Hurricanes. Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, the Gators had like a 20 or maybe even a 36 home game win streak. I think at some point last season it was snapped though. Kyle Field, Neyland Stadium, Tiger Stadium, Beaver Stadium there, making the top 10. Really just want to see where Autzen Stadium is at this point. We're at 19, 24-10 at home in the series with a 4-game home game win streak. Love to see that. We've actually surpassed Gaylord Oklahoma Memorial Stadium there, the Sooners. Camp Randall Stadium below us, and Autzen Stadium here at 23, where we're going to be playing next episode. With that being said, we'll preview our next week opponent, the Oregon Ducks. They were ranked last week, but I think they're coming off a loss, so they're actually out of the rankings now. There we go. Charlie Strong, the head man here, his 5th year at Oregon. He led Louisville to the national championship back in year 1 of this dynasty and promptly jumped ship as, you know, that program kind of fell off. But 39-22 during his time in Eugene, not the best record. And we'll get a look at their entire coaching staff here. So he has a little more invested in recruiting and kind of a similar game management tree there to us. Defensive coordinator Nick Aliotti, only a level 12, and Matt Rule, the former Temple head coach, a level 17 OC. Big bonuses here, especially for Bulldozer and Great Wall, so they're going to get tremendous blocking, but hopefully that's an area our D-line can continue, you know, to kind of stay dominant. Jake Witherspoon has led the charge for us there at D-tackle, and we really need Antonio Carr to come alive. So Charlie Strong here, his offensive style brings the Louisville playbook multiple. Going to pretty much go 50-50 run to pass, but more conservative on defensive 4-3. They defend the pass a little bit more, and they are going to be conservative. Now looking at the Oregon depth chart, they have 2 underclassmen at quarterback. A sophomore here, Bobby Lee. I think he was a freshman All-American last year. This season, 16 passing touchdowns, so very good improvement. Not really going to offer too much as a runner. But Tommy Doherty, I think he might have been the number 1 overall quarterback last year. Also an 81 overall. Very good athlete, very accurate at 95 throw accuracy. But Bobby Lee is the starter here. I wonder how that's going to develop going ahead. Maybe Doherty transfers out. At running back, it's Max Roach. 93 speed, good acceleration at 98. Break tackle and elusiveness each at 94. With a 98 spin move, averaging 6.9 yards per carry. And like 20 more yards, he'll set a new career high. Probably going to break 1,000 for the first time. Already 11 rushing touchdowns. At fullback, they have 85 overall, Bill Meyer. At wide receiver, Calvin Henderson, their top guy. 98 speed at 6'4", 220, so tremendous size and speed combination here with 99 acceleration, good agility at that height, but kind of raw otherwise. I mean, not bad, the route running at 82, but everything else other than that, pretty much, low 80s, so a solid, intangible receiver, but a very, very good athlete. Russell Lucas, their wide receiver 2, is hurt, so John Preston will be the guy. Another decent athlete with 93 speed, 85 acceleration, but really not in the same realm as Henderson. A little bit better of a route runner, 92 carrying, so someone who can maybe get some carries back there as well. At tight end, Ron McGill going to be the guy at 90 overall, 6'4", 252, a decent athlete at the position with very good route running, very good blocking as well, so a balanced tight end. And, a player like him can really provide a difference in the offense. So Demetrius Mee, their All-American left tackle, is actually injured. So in his place will be redshirt junior Gary Harris. Good pass block, run block, each at 85, impact at 81 with good strength. And he's a viable athlete there as well. 94 overall, Matt Franklin at left guard. 13 pancakes to 4 sacks given up this season. 98 run blocking, so this guy's going to be a mauler with good impact, good strength. At centers, Maurice Stewart, 85 overall. 17 pancakes, 6 sacks given up. More of a pass blocker, but pretty well-rounded. A 92 overall, Kevin McQueen, so very good at the guard spots overall, just a good line. He also 98 run blocks, so inside runs, they're probably going to have their way with us in this game. Also another decent athlete. And that at right tackle, Adrian Brooks, a true junior at 84 overall, and just very balanced across the board. Although just 6'1", 277 there at tackle. Bo Andrews at left end, 85 overall. 3 sacks on the season with 4 pass deflections there on the line. Good production in that spot. Nate Landry, 88 overall, 4.5 sacks on the season. 84 speed, very good there at D end with good strength, tackle, good power move, and block shed with 96 hit power at D tackle. Mark Jennings, a 91 overall, true senior, 6'4", 273. Decent athlete at that size with good strength, good power move at 92. 85 block shed, what's his production at? 9 tackles for loss, a sack and a half, not the best production. Sean Concepcion, 6'7", 331 D tackle. He really doesn't have the good production either, but that size, strength, good power move, good block shed, 98 hit power. So these D linemen are going to be looking to lay the boom. Hopefully we could practice good ball security. Robert Allen, 91 overall, left outside linebacker, good tackle, block shed, play rec, serviceable in coverage. And another guy with very high hit power at 97, a good power move and finesse move it well, really contributes in all phases of the defense. At middle linebacker will be Cedric Smith, a 5th-year senior at only 82 overall, but still a good player nonetheless. More of a run stopper than he is pass coverage guy. Elvis Bean at right outside linebacker, 87 overall, good athlete for the position with good block shed, good play rec, decent coverage. And then at corner they have Robert Allen, 88 overall, 96 speed, 4 pass deflections on the season with 3 picks, so someone we got to watch out for there on the outside. 96 speed, 94 acceleration, 95 man, 97 zone with 84 press, 89 play rec, and 92 pursuit. Definitely do not want to throw it in his direction. Cole Bryan, 83 overall, good athlete with 90 zone, 90 press. Then in the slot they'll have Nate Dingle, a true sophomore, 2 pass deflections, but it looks like just based on his production, it looks like they don't really run a lot of nickel. So maybe just a primary 4-3 team. At free safety is Darren Brock. Really no stats of note. 80 overall, redshirt junior. 84 zone, 82 hit power. Strong safety Rashad Clayton, 90 overall, only 83 speed, but he has that 94 zone, 97 press. So good coverage safety here, just not the fastest. At kicker, Joe Smith, a true senior at 75 overall, 11 out of 13 with a long of 44. And at punter, Emmanuel Carpenter, maybe the best punter in the nation at 97 overall. Now to close, we'll just kind of look at some player stats. Greg Walker was playing decent football, but look at Jason Smith, 5 touchdowns to just 1 interception. 4 of those, came in that 1 start he's made. At completion percentage, Walker was, supremely efficient throughout the course. 10.4 yards per completion, 2 yards less there from Smith, but Walker's only going to miss another game or two, and then he'll be back running the rock. Now McBride will miss the rest of the season, so Dusty Alexander will be, relied on more heavily now. Jason Smith had that 59-yard read option that he took to the house. Jared Luke came on last week, 8 carries for 50 yards, a very good performance off the bench from him. And Craig Jones, just 6 yards on 12 carries, a half a yard per carry. But prior to that, 5.7 as a redshirt freshman, 4.8 last year. So a player who's kind of been declining in production as he's gone along. We're going to need to get Michael James and Sam Manning more involved in the running game with the injury to McBride. Receiving-wise, Kenneth Pope leading the way with 273. Josh Terry just 11 yards behind him, and Mason just 30 yards behind Terry. So the big three really in the passing game have been Pope, Terry, and Mason. Kevin Coleman, the fourth-year senior, kind of taking a back seat. Tommy Washington, the JUCO, coming alive here at times. Craig Watkins, the backup tight end, 2 touchdowns. McBride had a receiving touchdown. Dylan Anderson, our wide receiver 4, had a 40-yard catch earlier in the year. Quincy Bonner and Albert Brown blocking. Marquise Cole, the first-year starter at left guard, 9 pancakes, just 1 sack allowed. And at right tackle, Justin Hill, we really needed him to show more stability, and just 1 sack allowed, a big improvement to where he's been. And 8 pancakes already a season high for him in his senior year. Roger Cook, a first-year starter at left tackle, the true freshman, 5-0. Pancakes to sacks. Jack Mason, 4-0. And Bobby Marcus, I think our second or third highest rated player, 3 pancakes, 2 sacks allowed. He didn't allow any last season. Mike George, and then Richard Walker at right guard, 1-1, and Alexander, a sack allowed. In the linebacking core, Bobby Price, our only player over 40 tackles, leading the way. Chris Carter behind him. Williamson, Mark Henry, Omar Wilson, each with 25. Tackles for loss, Jake Witherspoon leads with 8, also leads with 4 sacks. Antonio Carr and the safety, Mark Henry, 7 tackles for loss. Price and Carter, the linebackers, at 6. Robert Williamson at 5. Jed Brigham, our first-year starter at D-end, also rotating with Anthony Edwards. They've seen pretty even production. You like to see that from both second-year players, although Edwards is a redshirt freshman. Troy Walker down here as well. And we only have player above 2 sacks, being Jake Witherspoon, the junior D tackle. Aaron Clark had 2 sacks in the same game on corner blitzes. Walker, Edwards, and Carr also there with 2. And then Mark Henry, Brigham, Mike Carroll, and Chris Carter each with 1. And we only have 3 interceptions so far in 7 games. 2 from linebackers, 1 from a safety. Really would like to get those numbers up. But look at the pass deflections. 6 from Omar Wilson, 4 from Aaron Clark. And then we have like 10 more combined, the most we've ever had in a season already. Brigham, Carroll, and Carter each with forced fumbles. We'll just go over to kick return. 30.8 per return for Alexander. Very good numbers there. And Robert Williamson averaging 11.2 on punt returns. So with that, folks, this is where I'm going to leave you. Thank you so much for watching. I think I might just do one of these type of episodes per season, just a mid-season report, kind of so I don't have to cram so much in the end of games. And sometimes it takes forever for these videos to upload, so I'm going to try my best at condensing them as best as I can. But thank you so much for watching, and as always, everybody, it's been real, and be well. I'll see you next time.